Hey y'all, this is Cindy. I'm the Tireless Tangler, and you've arrived at day 64 of the 100 Days of Zentangle Project 2020. Thank you all so much for being with me today. I appreciate you joining me each day for tangling. It has been such a lovely couple of months with you all. So our tangle today is going to be a really cute little organic tangle. It is called Zante. It is by Milde Weiss. She is a CZT in South Africa. And I think we've done one other of her patterns in this project, in fact. So this is what it looks like. It is a single element in a sort of a teardrop shape. And it's got these cute little eye-looking things that you can highlight in the middle with some crescent, let's just call it crescent moon here in the middle with the little auras. And it's really cute. So let's take a look at it. So let me step one out for you, and then I'm going to explore this on my tile, and we're going to see how that goes. No promises. All right. So I kind of want to explore this in, well, let's just do a single element and we'll go from there. So in her step out, she has you starting with a C shape that's open. And then she draws her little, she draws a little S shape and connects it like this. Now, I practiced this, and this is a very awkward thing for me, and I have a much easier time if I handle it like one of my teardrop flux shapes. And so this is the way I'm going to draw mine. This is the way it is in the step out, okay? So the next step is to divide this by putting a couple of curved lines in. I'm going to start midway up the C-shaped side and just bring a line down that sort of divides that into a bit smaller shape. And then we're going to put another S shape up and match it up to that side like this, okay? Let's do that again. We're going to do a simple curved C here, and then add an S shape here from right here in the bottom, about center. Probably not quite. And that's probably a little high, but it's still gonna work, okay? So next, crescent moon, right here in this little corner. And she does not have a highlight in the step out, but I like to leave one. And I haven't quite decided how I'm going to handle them, so I'm going to leave it rough for now. You add your crescent moon auras. 2 of them. Cute, right? And then the last step is to add some little fescue shapes. Some little tendrils coming out from here, and you can place those and make them look however you like. You can put 2 or 3 or however many you want to, and you can really set that up in whatever way makes you happy. So it's a cute little element. I'll do this one without the highlight. Adding the fescue, or whatever it ends up being up here. However you like to do it, but this is Zante. So we're going to see what we can do with these little elements. All right, so don't assume anything bad about these, because remember what we did with our simple little shape that was Oski back a week or so ago. And so we made something really pretty out of that. And so I think we're going to do the same thing. In fact, if you round the top off on this, this is the same basic thing. So let's try it out and see what we come up with. I'm going to start this with my 4 dots. I'm going to take my time and take some deep breaths while I pencil in my border. All right. So what I think I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to start in the corner here. And I'm going to try to build some out. And I'm going to make my elements rather large here and see what I come up with. So I'm going to draw this as a teardrop shape in one stroke. And you may set it up how you wish, however makes you the most comfortable. Okay? All right, a little wobbly on the uptick, but it's going to be all right. And I'm going to divide this with my open C shape. And I'm going to divide it again from about the midpoint with an S shape. All right, so C shapes and S shapes. I'm going to draw in my crescent moon. I'm going to make it fairly large. I'm going to black it in or ink it, depending on your color, the color you have chosen to use today. And so I think I'll put my little highlight right there. Sort of leave the edges rough on it. Make some careful auras. Trying to keep their width consistent. And for me, I did a fairly good job. Okay, now I think I'm going to wait to add my little fescues until I have all of my central elements drawn in. So I'm going to put in another one right here, and I'm going to try to touch this with the bottom of it, okay? Okay, and these do not have to look all exactly alike. They can each have their own personality. Okay, I'll put in my auras. Okay, these weren't quite as pretty as the last ones, but that's all right. Now I'm going to put in another one here. quite get them to touch. It's all right. And you can change these up and put your own flair on them. Make sure I've got all my stars blacked in. There we go. I like that. Okay. Now, what else? So what if I put some smaller ones in here and maybe stuck another one over here? Let's do these two first and see what we come up with. And you can see why I wanted to wait to put in my fescue until I was finished, because once that's in there, it all starts looking wild and crazy and we don't have time to, you know, figure stuff out. If I've got it all set, then I can put them in where I think they're best suited and not have them get involved in all of these bigger elements. All right, so let's try another one smaller here. I'm purposefully leaving these kind of loose and natural instead of formal and like round or something. If I decide they're just not good that way, I'll change them, but for now I think I'm okay with that. Okay, I'll put another one in here. We got our lines in. Okay. Now what? Well, I think I'm just going to keep adding some and get smaller as I go out is what I think I'm going to do. So let's try that here again. Okay. Now, all right, we're getting cuter and cuter. I think once I get everything filled in and embellished, I think we're gonna have something really fun. We haven't started embellishing, so we'll get there. Let's get our central elements drawn in. And then we'll do some exploring. Whoa. Cut that one off really high. It is still gonna work though. Sometimes it doesn't work out like we want it to, and it does its own thing. That's all right. Okay. Let's just put that up right there. Okay. All right. Maybe a couple more right here and here, and we'll do something to fill in between. So I'm doing pretty well. Thank you guys all for checking in on me all the time. I really appreciate that. I'm doing well. We're in that time of year that I suffer with heat. And so I tend to be whiny and complainy. And I apologize for that in advance. It will probably get worse over the next few months. And we'll see how we're doing then. Hopefully we'll all still be together. Oh my goodness. I think there's been an accident. I gotta go for it. Well, that will get your heart pumping. I guess there were a couple of lawn care crews with those long trailers that they have where they keep their equipment, and they turned the corner to go down. I live on a corner street. Where are my glasses? I can't see what I'm doing. I live on the corner of a large street and a neighborhood street, and I guess they were turning the corner into the neighborhood. I don't know if they hit each other or what happened, but something popped off the truck, and so I have no idea what's going on, but a bunch of guys from the neighborhood were over there, and I figured I'd just let them in, take care of that, and go back to what I was doing, which was zenning. All right, so I am definitely going to need to fill in a few places more and sort of get this a little bit more symmetrical. You guys know how I am with the symmetrical stuff. I like my stuff to look sort of symmetrical. That was an interesting shape. but it's still going to work just fine. Remember, all you really need here is a teardrop shape. And you're going to put crescent moon in. Divide it, put in crescent moon, and move on to the next one. Now, we haven't really talked about embellishing possibilities, and we definitely will be doing that before I'm done, because there's lots of ways that you can embellish these. Maybe not lots, but it's several. And I was gonna make these smaller, wasn't I? These are very simple to draw, and if I weren't putting highlights in them, it would be more zenful. But I love the way these look with the highlights, so I'm gonna keep doing it. Okay, so when we did the Oski tangle, you guys remember that, right? It was an oval, right? And then we did the same kind of division, and then we put the little flower thing in it, right? Something like that, right? We made a bouquet out of it. And so I can do the same thing with these elements. I can put them on stems, right? And so what I'm thinking is put a few more smaller ones right here, and then I'm going to fill the rest of the space with little Zantes on stems and see how that works, okay? Because they're pointy, it's going to be a different look than we had with Oski, but that's okay. I'm also going to, I think now, before I get any further, I'm going to do some fills in here, and I'm going to go ahead and use my standard orbs. It's simple and easy and hard to make a mess out of. So I'm going to go ahead and put some orbs in and black around them, or ink around them, since I know we're not going to be all using black ink. Ooh, I'm finally starting to settle down. Did not know what that was. It didn't sound like a gunshot, but it was that loud, wasn't it? The fact that all the neighbors were out of their houses should have told me. Well, I've got it on tape, don't I? Okay, and keep going. This kind of a fill is something I use all the time for a reason. It's because it's very effective in drawing single elements together into a whole. Yeah, so that's why I use it as much as I do. I love the effect. It's such an effective fill, and it will work no matter what shapes you're dealing with. It's forgiving if you need to fix something. Yeah. Now, I will tell you, if you've gotten this far in the video, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to use my ink tints to color these today. And I have no idea how that's going to turn out, so you may end up with a very different result than what we're doing here. But I'm going to attempt to do it, and we'll see. This is something I don't normally do with my ink tints, although I've seen many demonstrations of it done. So we're going to try it out today and see what happens. If it blows up, it'll be entertaining for somebody, won't it? All right. This is much more a cohesive unit. I may put something else here. I'm not done adding elements, but I'm thinking, let's put a few more in right here, which is where I want it to come out. Just a little bit more. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just want something else in that area to sort of even the distribution out a little bit. Okay. Now that I'm at this point, and I will put some fill in here, I'm going to look at these elements and see if there's something I want to do to them before I add my fescue to sort of dress them up. And there are several things that you can consider where these are concerned. Let me even this out a little bit there. One is you could do radiating lines or parallel lines or R lines down on the side of these. You could do them up here and radiate out from the corner. You could do something up here in this large white space. Although I think for the design, for the way this is designed, I think leaving that blank, because we'll have the fescue coming out, which of course you don't have to. You can change it up as you will. I'm trying to stay on mine. I'm trying to stay fairly close to the step out so I don't get anybody too confused. But if you want to change yours up, you can, of course, always. All right, so for now, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put some little single Zantes here, just small ones. I'm not going to try to highlight on those, that's too much. And then I'm going to do what I did with the Oski one and put a base on it. Let me zoom in here. And I probably should be using my 01 here. Just put a tiny little round base on it. And then I'm going to connect it down here with a skinny set of parallel lines, just like I would handle Zinger or any of the ones that are like that, right? All this really needs to become a little bud on a stem is the base, and then you're good to go. Okay, let's put a few more in here. Okay, and again, I should probably be using a smaller nib, but I don't want to give a different effect. All right. Let's put a few more. Yeah. Okay, this is starting to come to life a little bit. I'm just going to keep filling in and adding as I go. I really want to put some parallel lines in here, but I'm afraid it's going to overload what we're doing. We've already got a lot of busy elements in this. Let's zoom out a little bit. We've already got a lot of visual elements to have the eye focus in on, and when we add color, we'll be adding even more. So if we add any striping or anything like that, I'm afraid we're going to overwhelm our basic shape. Does that make sense? And so I might try some and see. Let's try some examples. So we could do, whoops, just little R lines across this, like this. We could also do them up this way. One, both, all, whatever. But then when you add the crescent moon, it's not as busy as I thought it would be. What do you guys think? Drop me a comment, let me know. I'm not sure any of you watch this much of it, so I'll know if I don't get any comments. That's all right. You guys do what you need to do. Speed me up, whatever. It's cool. And so if we just did this, but see what I mean? So I think, since I'm going to introduce color as well, I think I'm going to leave these without any embellishments, at least at this point. And that's something I can always add in. If I feel like the color is too much and we need to take the pattern back or something, we can always add more elements in. Okay, I want a biggish one right here. And you could leave your R's out if you wanted to. There we go. So I'm just going to add a few more in. We could just put R lines in and not black. I actually don't mind that one. That is not a bad one. I'm not sure how much creativity I'm using on this. I don't know. I just feel sort of empty right now of the need to talk, and I'm not sure if that's just because my stress is gone or what. I'd be worried, but I just can't bring myself to worry. Actually, I kind of like that. Check that out. That little element with the blacked in bit, but no crescent moon auras. That's a kind of a cool little thing to put on the stem. Well, had a little trouble with that one. Yeah, I kind of like that one. I actually like that a lot. Let's do that again. Just like that. Okay. So now let's put in some going different directions and sort of draw behind on a few. Okay, so I'm going to put one that points sideways over here. Okay. See if we can do this. See if I can do it. I almost did it. Okay, don't mind that. That's cool. But we need to change up the direction here in a few just to give some visual interest. So let's put one. Yeah, I already like that better. Let's do one this way. Let's see if I can get away with this one. I don't know. That was a little nutty. So it fits right in. And let's do one other one. Let's do one over here. I'll just be a pretend one. Just a few running behind the others makes a big difference in how the effect of this. Okay, let's take care of this over here. What are we going to do over here? Do I want to put another element? I kind of do. So let's put let's sort of ignore. Ooh, I know what I'm going to do on this. Sort of ignore our string, which I always find okay. Remember, strings are meant to be guides. They're not rules. Okay, so now let's bring this back this way. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Okay, now let's talk about the fescue. You see why I waited, right? When we start adding fescue, it's going to be a lot. So I'm going to, and the fescue and the step out usually goes outside of the element. So what I'm going to do on this big one is I'm going to put some smaller ones in here. Just like this. So that we have the effect. Okay, and then do something similar here. And we'll maybe travel one outside. Let's see, I want to very carefully choose where I put these so that the pattern isn't overwhelmed by them. And I can add these anywhere I want, and I can not add them where I want. I can put as many or as few as I want. Okay. And in places like over here where I want to have more density, then I'm going to put more. If I want it to be less dense, then I'm going to put fewer. Well, that was a big one. That's okay. He's going to be all right. Maybe he's the head fescue. So just put them wherever you think they'll fit without causing you to lose sight of your pattern. And see, in this instance, you might not want to do more than a couple of small ones to give the effect that you've got them coming out. This is a very busy tile. I do not know if this is going to be worth saving when we get finished. We're going to find out. I'm going to do what I tell you guys and not give up on it. Although this is very, very busy. But I'm going to let it be what it wants. And then see what happens. Whew, very busy, extremely busy. All right, well, that's why I saved that for last, because I wanted I knew how busy this was going to be, and I wanted to be able to stick them in wherever I thought they were best served. So clearly I have enough on here to fill 2 tiles. And let's see what kind of color we're going to put in this. Whew. This is a scary bunch of alien things, huh? Let's see what we got for color today. So this is my Sienna Gold from my Derwent Ink Tints set. This is one of my very favorite colors. It's right up there in coolness, right next to the Sherbet Lemon. So what I'm gonna do, I think, is I'm going to put some of this right, where do I want this? I want this outside or inside? I think I want this outside. So what I'm going to do is put this right along. I'm just going to lay it right down on the corners. Okay? Just like I would a regular colored pencil. Okay, I'm going to put it up here too in this corner. This is going to help us contour our lines. Okay, I'm going to do that much and see how this is and see where I want to go with it. So, get my brush, my aqua brush. Always make sure it's clean before you start. Okay, it is. So I'm just going to draw a little bit of this, and I'm not squeezing at all. I'm just using what's on the tip. Just going to draw this out. Isn't that a beautiful color, though? And I'm just going to try to get a color gradient coming out of that corner, okay? And I am not squeezing this. I'm simply using the water that this brush is naturally producing. And I want to keep my most intense color back here in the corner. And then I want to draw it out just a little bit so that we have a natural highlight here in the middle, okay? And so I'm going to do the same thing up here. Just get this ink a little bit damp. Activate it, leave most of the color up in the corner, and then draw just a little bit down. We have a careful color gradient going on there. I do like the way that turned out. So we're going to do that again, okay? Okay. Before I go any further, I think in this instance, because I'm adding color, I'm going to lift out this pencil line just right here where I'm going to be painting. Just so that doesn't muddy the color any. Okay, and then I don't think those will matter any. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go in here, I'm going to add a little bit more color right there. I'm going to go in here and put color on the very edge. Just adding this in just like colored pencil. Just being careful that when I get to the small spaces, I have to remember that this is powerful stuff and we don't want so much ink that we can't direct it and keep it where we want it to be, if that makes sense. I'm going to try not to use too much, just the appropriate amount. That can be a learning thing. Now, I don't usually use them in this manner, but and I could take color off the tip the way I usually do it, but I think this will be more accurately directed if I do it in this way. And then I can sort of control what's going on with my brush, hopefully. Hopefully. All right. Where else? This is going to, adding this color in this way is going to help the eye distinguish the elements from each other. It's also going to sort of bring the composition together, if you will. Okay, now putting up here, we're just gonna, those will be probably one color because there's not enough space to do anything fancy in. I'm gonna try to keep these that are large enough to set up that way. Okay. And remember, you can take these out with an eraser, or at least a lot of it out with an eraser before you activate it with water if you need to. But once it's activated, it's permanent ink, and it cannot be erased or washed out or lifted with a brush or anything else. It's there. If you get it wet on your clothes, then it's there. You got to get it out while it's still wet, or it will dry permanently. Which makes it a great medium to use. It's just really important to understand how it works so you don't get in trouble with it. I have loved these from the start, from the minute I saw somebody use them and activate them. It was a colorist, and she was working in a coloring book, and it was just fabulous. Whoops, I did that wrong. It was just fabulous, the colors and the brightness and all of the effects she was getting with them, so I had to have some. And even though they're expensive, I got some. I got a small set. Well, actually, it's not that small. It's a 70-something set, I think. And I have worn them out. This is my second sienna gold that I have had. I ordered it from dickblick.com as a single pencil. Almost there. And we can play with our paintbrush, which is always fun, right? Any excuse to put color in something is good for us. Color makes us happy. If it makes you happy. If it doesn't, don't use it. And I want you to do something happy today. You can use whatever color you want. Just play with it. Have fun. If you don't have ink tints, watercolor pencils will do, or regular colored pencils, and you can put them on the same way you always do. Let's see what we can do with the rest of these. I just love this color. Also, keep in mind that if you're using ink tints, you want to be sure that all of your color gets activated. If you're adding water to it, you want to make sure it's activated, because if you come over it later with another wet media and you have granules in there that aren't already activated, then it will mix with your water. So to make it permanent, it needs to be activated with water. As long as it's wet, then you can usually mess around with it. Okay. You use a paper towel, wipe your brush often. It's one way to keep it from getting out of control. So I'm not sure. I think in doing this, we did well. I mean, I think this is fine for what we did. My problem is that I feel like we lost the back of this, so maybe shading is going to really help this. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to add some shading. I will probably reinforce the shading at the corners where I put the color, but I will also put some shading right here in this element, and I think I'm going to shade behind the crescent moon and along the edges here to sort of enhance the folded look that it has. And so I'm going to switch over to my Verithin, if I can find it in here. Here it is, my black Verithin, which I'm starting to love a lot on this. And so I think I'm going to start on this one. It feels fairly dry. You do want to make sure that you're dry before you start scrubbing over with anything else, okay? And so I'm going to add some pencil, some dark, right along here. And I'm also going to add just a tiny bit right here at this fold. Okay, so yeah. Like this. And then maybe, well, let's try it out and see what we think. Just gonna put a little light bit. And it's so awesome that Verithin will blend with a paper stump or a tortillon. And I'm gonna put some back here and see how this looks. And then if I don't like it, I may try to lift some out with my eraser, or I may leave it. We'll see. See what we think of it. Ooh, I kind of like it. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep going and see what I end up with. It's definitely going to be a dramatic effect. I like it. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So let's go for it here. I think this will draw the element together, hopefully. Of course, I keep saying that and keep having to add more things, but I believe that's what's going to happen. Okay, and here. Okay, let's see what we get. Yeah, okay. This works for me. I gotta get a little more pencil right here on the line. There, perfect. All right, keep going then. And if I don't have the auras in there, like on this one, I'm just going to shade the back in around the center. See how that goes. Okay, maybe a little less pencil on those small ones. Did not mean to do that. Okay. Easy sim. Okay. So now if on some of these it seems like I've got too much graphite, I've got my little mono zero eraser that I can use to lift some of that out. So I'm not going to stress too much about that. So I'm just going to go through here and continue to shade. And I think I'll probably speed this part up for you since I don't have any chatter to share. I did want to remind you guys, if you have not subscribed, I would love it if you would do that for me. I'm really close to 5,000 subscribers. I may have hit it while I wasn't looking today. And I would love to have, there are a lot of you that comment a lot that aren't subscribed, and I would love to have you as a subscriber if you would like to. And I don't want to pressure you. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Just, you know. I would be a bad YouTuber if I didn't remind you to subscribe. My child wants me to stop the drawing things and just do tireless comments all the time. I'm not sure that would be very effective. He doesn't understand that because his YouTubers do this and they make fun of the people that make comments, and I'm like, honey, I'm not doing that. He's like, why not? It'll be funny. I'm like, you know, child, you just don't understand the way things go. So I'm trying to relax these people, not get them all head up. He says, but getting them all head up, that's the way to get subscribers. I'm like, I'm not sure I want subscribers if it's like that. I mean, do you have to act stupid to get views on YouTube these days? I mean, really, honestly, tell me, because well, you guys don't, because most of you are like me. You're on YouTube under protest. But you know, all the stupid stuff, and they get millions of views. It just blows my mind. Millions of views. Cat videos get millions of views. What is that? I mean, I like cats as much as the next guy, but millions of views. Just, come on. Can't I have just a couple of those? Okay, I get it. I am not a cat, and I am not cute and furry. And, you know, let's face it, that says a lot. Kitties are very cute, lovable creatures. We watched the movie, it's called Spies in Disguise. It's an animated movie that has Will Smith in it. And he turns into a pigeon accidentally. And it is so cute and so funny. And they have, when he's a pigeon, you know, he gets a different perspective about the world, and sort of, you know, it's just funny how, you know, they do those things, and I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with this, but it just amazes me. And my kid is one of them. He watches this stuff constantly, and he watches the same ones over and over. And it's never anything new. Or I mean some of the YouTubers he watches are just inane. I mean, I don't get it. But, you know, they I guess they appeal to kids, and, you know, that's fine. If he wants to watch them, that's fine. But, you know, throw some of that watch time my way, child. YouTube will like me better. So I just don't have content that people need to binge watch. So, and that's fine with me. You know, I don't need people to be attached to their phones and computers and just watching me, but I would love it if you would watch me sometimes. That would be enough for me. All right, let's blend some of this out and see what kind of a mess we have made between the gold and the black. Then I'll get my little eraser out and see what else we need to do here. Yeah, I'll definitely be getting out my eraser. These are all pretty heavily shaded. Oops. Definitely missed some spots down here. Okay. It's still a mess, isn't it? Okay. So now what? Well, now I just want to do the organic thing and add a little bit of green. So I don't think I want to use an Inktense for this. I think I want to use a very thin, let's see what color this is. Apple green and very thin, perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and use it on these little stemmy things. I should have gotten a lighter one, but this will be okay, I think. I guess I could have made these any color I wanted to. Since these are clearly not of this earth, we could do Maria Thomas and come up with a really whimsical story to explain what all these little eyeballs are doing hidden in these little things in a big bunch, growing. Are they taking over the world? Are they alien entities come to trap us? Or are they trying to spread their joy? What is it? We don't know. We're going to find out. She has the most fun. I would love to live inside her head someday. I never had the desire to be inside John Malkovich, but I could definitely live inside Maria Thomas sometimes. All right, did I get them all? Okay, so now what? Okay, it's a little bit better. I think I'm going to leave it for a while and then come back to it. I may put something in the background but maybe not. That might, I'm not sure. So I'm going to sit on this and wait and see if something else speaks to me today. And then I'll put my finished product up at the end of this video, or right now here in a minute. And you'll see what I ended up with. I don't know. I may add some more color to these. I just don't know. But I really like this pattern. I think in the future, instead of having it so organic this way, I might try some different things with it. I might try like a border with it. That might be really cute. In fact, that would be a really cute idea. So there are some other things I wouldn't mind trying with this, but this is Zante or Zante. Not sure how you say that. And this is day 64. Is that right? 64 of the 100 Days of Zentangle. Guys, we're on our almost to our last month. Wow. Don't forget, if you haven't seen all of the 100 days from this year's playlist, you can see those right here. And if you haven't seen this video over here, you can look for that or subscribe. All right, guys, I'm going to see you tomorrow. Thanks for being with me.